You are watching Jagee's Cookbook, your favorite cook show, and I'm here to specialize on your cooking. Here, I'm going to today show a very different sort of snack. Now, we all love snacking. Yes, I love snacking. Now, snacking is okay, but if you kind of snack on healthy snacks, there's no problem. There is a thing that snacking is not good and it increases your calorie intake and everything, but you have to compensate somewhere. And if you want energy, because I'm a snacking type of person, I always have healthy snacks at hand. So if I do skip a meal, okay, I do take one of my healthy snacks and munch on it. Now this time I'm going to show you Almond Brittle. Almond Brittle is something very similar to our peanut candy. Almonds are very good for you, extremely nutritious. Now, a handful of almonds, okay, it contains, well, precisely around 20 to 23 almonds, is supposed to give you the daily requirement of calcium, magnesium, iron. It gives you fiber and a lot of protein. It's also very good in decreasing the bad cholesterol, that is the baddie, okay, the LDL. Now, we all know that LDL is bad for you. We should keep a low level of LDL, and your HDL, that is your good cholesterol, should be high. Now, almonds are very good for you in lowering your LDL. So, those of you who are watching out for their cholesterol, make sure you eat almonds, and this is a very lovely snack. We'll see how it's made because it's delicious. It's something like a peanut candy, but all the more better. So let's get started, huh? So first what we have to do, we need almonds, 1 cup precisely. 1 cup precisely. What we have to do is we have to roast this. Dry roast it, okay, with a little bit of salt. That's what I said, a salt and sweet temptation. A little bit of salt, just a bit. We'll just keep this back, we don't need this. Okay, then what we do is we just heat this. Now, why we roast almonds is that it brings out the nutty flavor of the nuts or the almonds. So these are roasting here. Now, for the caramel or for the sugar syrup, what we need is very easy, but you need to be very careful how to make it. Okay, for the brittle, 1/2 cup of sugar. In that goes, okay, and we need 4 tablespoons of water, okay? No spoon in this. If you use a spoon, the brittle is going to be gritty and you're not going to get a very smooth, beautiful texture. What you do is swirl, okay? With your hand, just swirl it and let it dissolve, okay? Just use a heavy saucepan and a saucepan with a handle so that you can do your motion or locomotion, and switch on the heat. I'm doing this simultaneously. Be very careful of your almonds. Don't do this at one time because you're not very sure of the caramel syrup, the temperature of the caramel syrup. Don't do this together. I'm just doing it together, okay? So keep this on medium high and roast this. For this you can use a ladle, but for the syrup, do not use a spoon or a ladle. Just if you want to dissolve it and help it along, all you have to do is swirl it, okay? And let this be on medium to high heat. Let it really boil and let it caramelize. Keep an eye on the syrup, okay? Now my sugar syrup is boiling away. You should be very, very careful when you actually swirl the syrup, because if at all it catches on your skin, it's going to burn. It's very high temperature. So you have to be very, very, very careful when you actually swirl. Okay, and I've kept this on high heat. But if you're not very sure, you can keep it from medium to high heat. This has to crackle, in the sense it has to, you know, the skin is hot. The skin has to just break. And you can actually hear the crack sound. You know, it just goes pop and crack, things like that. Now, both of these can be done simultaneously. If you are very absent-minded, don't do it. Do one at a time. Do each of these things one at a time. But if you are good in managing 2-3 things at a time, I think this would save a lot of time. Now the salt actually helps it not to stick onto the pan. Okay, this is hot. Don't do things like this. I've got concrete hands, so it's no problem. Okay, this is roundabout. Okay, what we have to do is, once how we test whether the brittle is done, whether the syrup is done or not, is we actually need some cold water. Okay, I've got some cold water here. This, you can hear the sound. Okay, this is done. Just switch it off. And okay, now this is done. Okay, let's switch off the TV. What I'm going to do is now test it. Very, very careful. As I said, be very careful. This mixture, gosh, it's very dangerous. Very high temperature, so you have to be very, very, very careful. Please. Okay. If young girls or boys are doing it, please ask your mom to help you. Now to test this, what we do is take some cold water. Be very careful, and just drop a bit. Okay. If this becomes hard, okay, it hardens up. Yes, this has become hard. Okay, because it has become hard, that means this is right. This is the right consistency. Okay, this is just a test to show the temperature of the sugar syrup is right. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. What we do is tip in these almonds. Make sure you switch off the heat. Tip the almonds, which have been roasted well. And don't put all the salt. You don't need all the salt. Just mix everything together. That's it. The major part of the work is making the caramel syrup. That's it. And just roasting the almonds. The other one is, the next part is just mixing everything together, and in a ceramic plate or a glass plate or a grease-proof paper. Now, I have tried to put it on a grease-proof paper. What happens is, when it dries, it actually sticks, the paper actually sticks to the almonds and the caramel mixture. I personally find that very irritating. Okay, so what we do is carefully just spread this along. Glossily beautiful. Spread it along. And this has to set. Okay, once this is set, all we have to do is just, you know, you can actually refrigerate it. What I do is refrigerate it, and so that it will set very fast, and you can just break it into pieces. It's already setting very, very fast. Now, transferred beautiful almond brittle is already transferred onto a plate. All we need to do is let it set. It can set in room temperature, but to do it fast, what I do it, because I do not have patience, I put it in the refrigerator or the deep freeze for some time, for around 10 to 15 minutes. And then once it's set, we'll do the next step. Now my almond brittle has been set for some time, so it's a bit, it's well set. You need at least 10 to 15 minutes in the deep freeze. Now be careful that yours is an oven-proof dish, because if it's an oven-proof dish, it will also withstand the freezer. Otherwise, it will break. Your dish will break and you'll blame Jagee. Please do not do that. Okay, now what we have to do is we need some melted chocolate. Now you can enjoy it just like this. Break it, okay, once it's really set and hard, break it into pieces and you can enjoy it. Otherwise, what you can do is you can just drizzle some dark chocolate. Now the reason why I melted some gorgeous dark chocolate is because this is very, very sweet, and if I drizzle in milk chocolate, it will be a bit too sweet. So that's why I just want to drizzle some dark chocolate. Okay, you don't need to be a very creative artist for this, so just drizzle it on. Lovely. Gorgeous. This is going to set in the fridge once again, and the chocolate is going to really melt on top, and everything, the chocolate and the almond, everything is going to be hard, crunchy, sweet, salty, chilled, yummy, totally gorgeous. So my advice is to please keep it in the refrigerator, because there's a beautiful thing about something being crunchy and something being very cold, like eating ice cubes. So here, once this is chilled, okay, you can eat it. You can break this into any pieces. Now this does not have to be uniform. Don't try to break it into uniform pieces, or don't try to cut it into uniform pieces. That's not the beauty of it. Is the roughness of the almond brittle. So I know you all are going to enjoy this, because it has gorgeous almonds. It's sweet, salty, totally crunchy, and totally cold, just for you.